Hi, people. Welcome, share, subscribe. I hope you've been enjoying my videos though. I would like to hear from you at the comment section and my email. You check my info, you get my email address. Now, we're talking about Job and his wife, or we're talking about marriage in this session. Um, I know some of us will say, what is there about marriage that people have not said before? Hmm. When there was something I gained recently about a husband and a wife. Now, when God was bragging about Job to Satan, I said, "Have you seen my servant Job? There is nobody that is as honest as he is. A man full of integrity and all that. Hey, God, ha." And then Job said, Shebi is because you're protecting him. That is why. If you're not protecting him, let's see whether he will not disrespect you, whether he will not insult you, whether he will not turn away from you, that kind of thing. Yes, there are times that because people enjoy God's protection, you see, they are faithful, and then immediately they feel that God has turned his back on them. They've gone their own way, like, no, 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 they can't do this. But God said, not Job. Job cannot do that. When God told Satan to touch what Job had, he said only on Job should Satan not put his hand. And Satan went, took Job's children, Job's property, house was burned, livestock, the servants, everything gone within the twinkle of an eye. I mean, Job woke up a rich man and slept as a poor man, a wretched man. In all, he didn't sin back. Now, where I'm going to is chapter 2. When God said, if he has seen Job and said, he's full of integrity and blah, 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 he said, yes, skin for skin. He said, a man will give everything for his life. Job chapter 2, verse 4. He said, a man will give everything for his life. And then he said again, verse 5, he said, but put forth thy hand now and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will cause thee to thy face. And God said to Satan, behold, he is in thy hand, but save his life. You see, that save his life is where I'm going to. When it comes to relationship, do you realize that when Satan was touching everything about Job, he didn't touch Job's wife, not even a scratch, not a pinch, nothing on Job's wife. God said, save his life. The Bible says, and the two shall be one flesh, one flesh. So Job's life and his wife's lives were intertwined. So whatever Job was suffering, his wife was suffering. They were one, even though at some point she didn't have sense. She said, why don't you curse God and die? God said, don't touch his life. In other words, don't touch Job's life. Don't touch his wife. So for those of us that are married, or those of us that want to be married, understand that your wife, your spouse, your husband is your life. Good or bad. Whatever happens, good or bad, affects the both of you. The two shall be one flesh. Do you know what that means to be one flesh? I mean, if you cut me open, I'll be injured. That is what it means. So if I'm injured, my husband is injured. If my husband is sick, I am sick. One flesh. And that is why if you see people who really understand the institute of marriage, especially those ones who are old, if you notice those ones who really, there are some of them that really have this close bonds that it's like their life is intertwined with each other, just like Job chapter 2 verses 6 says, save his life. that if one of them dies, immediately, it won't take long, the second one will die. Because why? The two shall be one flesh, except God shows mercy or has other purpose and plans for any of your spouse. Take care of your wife. Take care of your husband. The two shall be one. Nothing happened to Job's wife. Nothing. God says, do not touch his life. Job's wife was Job's life. I am sure if anything had happened to the wife, Job would have died. Now, probably that would have been the end of Satan and would have, but Satan too in the year one. In the year one too. Make yourself to year one. Respect your wife. Respect your husband. Love one another. Submit to one another. Don't be following trend. Hmm. We'll talk more relationship, but for that, let's hold on to this one. Have a nice day.